So I am not a classically trained chef by any stretch of the imagination. I feel like if you watch any of my videos, you can tell. I'm a dietitian and I can definitely put a healthy meal together. But as for actual like fine-tuned cooking skills, I just don't have them. I shouldn't say I don't have them, but I'm not trained in them. I feel like I keep getting on social media and kind of sharing my meal ideas and putting together a carb, a protein, and a veggie every single week, and it just starts to burn me out. And for so long, I really couldn't figure out what it was about it that just made me feel so uninspired. And then I realized the other day that I'm not learning anymore. And that's what always makes me feel really inspired, is when I'm learning from different chefs and other creators. So I wanted to really take some time to focus on learning more about cooking again, just so I could start to feel inspired and enjoy what I do again. So then I was like, do I go back to school? Do I try culinary school? Do I take cooking classes? What do I do? Then I was like, culinary school tuition and New York rent is just not sounding super realistic. But I still want to learn and grow and become a better home chef and creator. So then the other day I'm scrolling Netflix and Julie and Julia pops up, which is one of my favorite movies. Really related to the main character Julie, because she was also in New York just looking for more inspiration in her life, which is kind of what led her to cooking through Julia Child's book. So then I was like, okay, why don't I do that? Why don't I cook my way through Julia Child's book? And I was like, okay, I didn't really like grow up with Julia Child, so I don't necessarily resonate with that. So I went out and I bought the Bible, Martha Stewart's Cooking School. So this book is like 500 pages, over 200 recipes. I went to the bookstore with my friend and looked at her and I was like, I hope you're ready to eat because this is going to serve a lot. So I'm just going to document my journey of cooking my way through this book, learning some new cooking skills and sharing how it goes with all of you. And we're going to be Monica and Martha instead of Julie and Julia. So the first thing we are doing is making homemade chicken soup. Martha said that the measure of a good cook is how well they could make soup. So that is where we're starting. I am first gonna make a homemade chicken stock and then I'll show you the actual soup as well. So doing all of this in my super tiny kitchen, so it's gonna be hard. I'm also making a half batch because I'm only one person. So I'm starting with 3 pounds of chicken wings that I bought at the store. I've also never made stock, so let's try this out. So I covered the chicken wings with water. Now we're gonna boil them. Bring it to a boil and you're supposed to skim the fat off the top with a ladle. I don't have a ladle, which is dumb, so I'm just using this spoon. Once that's boiling, I'm adding in my veggies. I was gonna get the pre-cut one and I didn't because we're not cheating. I brought this down to a simmer and it's gonna cook for 2 hours. Didn't do a great job of getting the fat off, but I think I'm gonna be able to get it off later. Okay, it's been 2 hours. This is what we're working with right now. I need to get all of the solids out of there and then strain the chicken stock. It didn't come out to very much, so I probably should have made a whole batch, but we are here to learn from our mistakes. So this is my little setup for straining this. Not bad. Here's my chicken stock. It smells really good. We're gonna let that cool and I'm gonna skim the fat off of it and then we're gonna make our actual chicken soup, which hasn't even started yet. We have our stock. I didn't do that good of a job of getting all of the fat off of it, but I just found out I have to make like a million more batches of this for all the other soups I have to make. So first try, not terrible. Moving on to the actual soup. I feel like I did something wrong because I guess I have to cook the veggies again in the broth and then again garnish with the veggies. I don't know. If you are a chef, please don't roast me. I'm doing my best, okay? Okay, second round of veggies are ready. And now is the part I'm most afraid of. I need to figure out how to cut up this whole chicken. Martha is trying to walk me through it on page 110, but I don't know. I'm not confident. Martha wrote, let the bird be your guide. So that is what I'm gonna do. Okay, I got the legs off. It's supposed to be cut into 8 pieces, but I feel like 6 is pretty good. So I'm adding in my vegetables, salt, and peppercorns. I'm gonna add in all of that stock that we just made. Next time I would definitely make this ahead of time, which she says you can do, because then you can really get all the fat off of it. So this is our soup right now. We're gonna bring this back to a boil. Okay, so after about 10 minutes, you have to take all of the chicken pieces out. I feel like I'm doing something wrong, but apparently once this cools, we're supposed to take the skin off, rip it up into pieces and put it in the fridge until it's ready. To get this off the bones, and the bones need to go back in the broth to fortify the broth for an hour. It's already 8. I started this at 3:30, so I think I'm just gonna take this off and burn myself instead of waiting for it to cool. I just burned myself. I got all of the chicken off the bones. I'm gonna put the bones back in for an hour and let them simmer. Okay, so now I'm on my 3rd round of cutting veggies for this soup. These are apparently the garnish vegetables, so these are the ones that we're actually gonna eat. I feel like I've just looked more disheveled as this video has gone. I'm really getting humbled by this chicken soup recipe. So now that this has been fortified with the bones, I'm going to skim it again, strain it out, put it back in there, add the veggies, and actually make the chicken soup. At the 5-hour mark, the home stretch, I'm cleaning this pan in between everything just so no one comes for me. Adding the veggies in and that stock that we just made. Bringing this back to a boil. These are tender. We're adding in 2 cups of that chicken, letting it heat through, seasoning it, and then we're done. Here is our final product. Usually add some pasta to this, but I have unfortunately given everything that I have to this soup already tonight, so we're just gonna have it as is. I added in red pepper flakes because I like my soup a little bit spicier, but her recipe doesn't call for that. Let's taste test it. I mean, it's Martha Stewart. I don't know what I expected. It's delicious. From this, I learned that I need a ladle and I need a larger soup pot. So stay tuned. There's about 200 more of these recipes to go.